Early in the 5th millennium BC, a group of raiders swept west across the steppes. One would never die. In myth and legend, she is known as Andromache the Scythian. Betrayed in battle and left to die, she rose again. For centuries after, she led her people, a warrior queen blessed by the gods. Generations passed, and yet she remained unchanged until finally her loneliness compelled her to leave her people behind. For thousands of years she roamed the earth, learning and teaching and fighting, always compelled to move on. For thousands of years she searched for another to share the blessing and curse of immortality. And for centuries she found no one. Then she dreamt of a woman, seen at first only in bits and fragments. With time, Andromache the Scythian came to believe she was not alone. It took more than a century to find her, but when she did, both women knew one truth. Neither would have to be alone ever again. Her name was Quinn. 700 years later, during Alexander the Great's conquest of Judea, they found a third.
Watch your back.
That's your job, Andromache.
Lycan. With Andy to lead them, they walked the world, lending their arms and skill in battle, eternal, fearless, and invincible. As centuries passed, their exploits, their very names, moved from fact to story to myth. They would fight together forever. Or so they thought. How and why Lycan's immortality abandoned him, neither Andy nor Quinn could say. The wounds that had always healed simply did not. Suddenly, Lycan was dead. And Andy and Quinn understood that nothing, not even they, would last forever. They understood that even for them, there was an ending. The First Crusade culminated in the siege of Jerusalem in the summer of 1099. In the fighting, Niccolo of Genoa, a young knight who had left the priesthood behind to follow the crusade, crossed blades with the scion of a merchant trading family from Maghreb, named Yusuf Ibrahim Muhammad al-Kazani. Their battle did not go as either could have imagined. Forced by circumstance to put their enmity on hold, the two discovered more in common than not. What began as an unlikely friendship had grown into something far more by the time Andy and Quinn found them. Over the next 500 years, this group of 4 immortals traveled far and wide, seeking those fights and causes they felt worthy of their unique gifts. As a tide of religious hysteria moved across Western Europe, they followed it, attempting to protect the lives of those innocents caught up in the madness of the persecution. After rescuing a group of women about to be burned as witches, Andy and Quinn found themselves hung by the neck for their crimes. Death once again refused the 2 women. To those watching, it only confirmed what they suspected. Andy and Quinn were clearly agents of the infernal. If they would not die, the priest concluded, a fitting imprisonment was required.
No! No, not this way!
Rescued by Joe and Nikki before the same fate could fall upon Andy, they searched desperately for Quinn. Plagued by regret and guilt, Andy was never able to forgive herself for abandoning her first and oldest friend. In 1812, a convicted forger named Sébastien Lelivre was given a choice. He could die in prison, or he could die for the Emperor's glory in France. Finding neither option to his liking, he attempted to leave Napoleon's army in the winter of 1812. A fourth option presented itself when he was hung for desertion. Booker's education, intellect, and curiosity made him a much-needed addition to the team. Better adapted to the rapid changes of the Industrial Revolution, He provided new direction and greater anonymity as the team began the 20th century as guns for hire. After 6,000 years, the Scythian has grown weary. Through the lens of history, only the trappings have changed. The people have not. As petty, selfish, and vindictive as ever. As Andromache struggles to find purpose in their uncertain immortality, she and her comrades in arms are confronted by a modern world that no longer permits the safety of anonymity. In a day and age where an image, a voice, an idea, and most dangerously, a secret, can find its way around the globe in seconds. The coming of a new immortal could bring about the end of them all, or restore what time has taken from the eternal warrior.